insight question, constructor response, vectors, number 1b. So, the first thing to notice about this question is that it gives us A and B, and then it asks us for a vector that is perpendicular to A minus B. Now this question, it can show up as A minus B, it can show up as A plus B, it can show up as 2A plus 2B, 2A minus B. I want to point out that this part really is irrelevant. If we're finding a component that is perpendicular to A minus B, as long as it's perpendicular to A, and it's perpendicular to B, it's going to be perpendicular to any linear combination of A and B. By that I mean 2A minus 3B, 5A plus 7B. Now, that's a very well disguised question that's really testing you and your ability to find a vector that's perpendicular to these two things. As soon as you're trying to find something that's perpendicular to two other components, we want to think about finding the cross product. So the objective of this question is to find the cross product of A and B. And the notation for that is A cross B. Now, in order to know A cross B and how to find it, you need to remember that this turns into something of a matrix question, where we take the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix. Now, first showing it in the generalized form, if we have two vectors, again, let's take u and v. Again, with our x1, y1, z1 values, x2, y2, z2. By the way, writing it out in this form, it's almost always going to be harder than actually applying it specifically to the question. So if you're doing the question, which you might more naturally do, is just write it out in the form that you would, and then go back and fill in kind of your more, let's say, proper notation. I'm going to go ahead and follow that rule of thought then. So, let's just take I, J, K, and we drop our coefficients in 2, -1, and -2, 2, 1, and 3. And this determinant is the value of A cross B. Now, for this, I'm going to use minor expansion, so I times, cross out the row and column, so what's left is -1, -2, 1, and 3. Now, we're always going to have a plus, minus, plus pattern going. Think of it as a checkerboard of pluses and minuses. So next we have minus j. So we'll circle this one, cross this row. And what we have left is 2, -2, 2 and 3, plus k. And the matrix for that will simply be, cross this out and this, so it's what remains, this. 2, -1, 2 and 1. Now we can just crank out our 2 by 2. Determinant, -3 minus -2, so really -3 plus 2. So -1, so we have -1i. Here we have 6 minus -4, so really 6 plus 4, which is 10. So we have a -10j. And then here we have 2 minus -2, so plus 4 plus 4k. And this is the value of A cross B. Okay. So this is the actual answer to the question. And if this is a constructor response question on the CSET, I need to show my breadth of knowledge. So I basically need to go ahead and cite anytime I need to, any kind of flashcard concept that I'm going to be applying. So if I were on the actual test, I would have allowed some room here down my paper so that I could go back and fill this in before doing it with the numbers, first doing it with the variables. Now for this we would do u cross v equals the determinant of I, j, k, and here we have our x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2 values. Very useful fact here. I don't feel that you need to go ahead and show the I minor expansion and j and k minor expansions in this generic form. Go ahead and just do that when you have the actual numbers. If you wanted to be really rigorous or perhaps spend a little bit too much time, you could go ahead and break it down that way. I don't feel it's necessary. Alright, so that is our vector number 1B question for a CSET Insight on Subtest 1.